Hey guys, what's up? It's Reflex. So, you're gonna see the title of this video and be like, dude, aren't you making like a monthly series, saying what you saw in that month? Yeah, I'm still gonna stick with that, but I really feel inclined to make this review now. Because I'm getting pissed off as to how many negative reviews there are out for The Predator. I just came back from seeing it about an hour ago. I went and got lunch and all that kind of stuff because we were starving. Anyway, I had the most fun in a theater that I've had all year, hands down, with this movie. That's not to say it's perfect, though, and this is my review of The Predator, if you can't tell. I love this movie. It's, like, it was so much fun, and sometimes in the right ways and sometimes in the bad ways. But it was a lot of fun, and I really had a good time. My dad is a hardcore fan of Predator. He loves the first two. They're like his favorite all-time movies. Like, he went and saw them when he was my age. Like, he's such a diehard fan. He hates AVP Requiem. He doesn't hate AVP, but he doesn't like it. And he doesn't like Predators. So, he's a really diehard fan. And he left the theater satisfied. He wasn't mad. Everybody's saying, this movie's so insulting. It just completely craps on the Predator lore. It doesn't. If you're expecting a movie like the first Predator, and you're like, okay, it's gonna be flawless, it's gonna be, like, scary and intense, you're not gonna get that. I hate to break it to you guys, but this movie is really similar to Suicide Squad in some ways, except for it's 100% better than Suicide Squad. That movie sucks. But it's a similar concept. So, in case you guys live under a rock, I'm gonna explain the plot to you. This is a non-spoiler plot, by the way. So, or non-spoiler description of the plot. So basically, this guy, his name's McKenna, I can't remember his name, which is bad. That's a bad thing about the movie. But anyway, the main character, he has a run-in with one of the Predators, not the big one, the small one, and, like I'm saying small one, the normal Predator. And it kills his men, and he like gets his equipment basically, and he ships it out to his son, and like the government is trying to figure out what happened, and they've been studying the Predators for years, and so this is basically him trying to get the equipment back from his son and a few other things. And I'm gonna start off with my positives because I have a lot of them. The movie is amazing in terms of, like, speed and pacing. The speed and pacing of this movie is breakneck. There's almost never a boring and dull moment. There are a few, but for the most part, the action is the strongest part of this movie. It's amazing. Shane Black definitely knows how to direct action, and I gotta go see Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, because I've seen his other two movies and they're both amazing. Iron Man 3 isn't amazing, but the action is. So, the action is really, really good. And I liked all the characters. Well, I liked most of the characters. I cared about them when some of them met their fates. And I really did care about most of the characters in this movie. I really did. About it. And you guys are like, wait, so he's gonna get into the negatives and just crap on it. There aren't very many positives, but there aren't very many negatives either. They're tiny. First negative, there's not really a cohesive story. And that's not horrible. The first movie, everybody's forgetting. The first movie had little to no story. I don't know why people are forgetting this. I went back and watched all the Predator movies over this week. And the only one that had a clear, cohesive story, in my opinion, was Predator. Not to say they're all bad. I mean, Requiem doesn't really exist. Just doesn't exist. It's terrible. But this movie doesn't have a cohesive story, but none of them really do. The best part about every one of those movies is the acting and the action. And yeah, that's the best parts about all the movies. And that's the best part about this one too. Everybody's forgetting. Like, the first one isn't flawless. It's not amazing. It's a fun, dumb movie. Well, sometimes it's dumb, but, I mean, it's a fun movie. It has the same positives and more or less the same negatives as the new one has. And my other negatives are that, well, this negative doesn't apply to the original. The editing is a little bit placed and bad. I mean, there is some shots in there that you could tell are reshot that just, like, didn't need to be in there. Like, towards the end, there's some shots, like, establishing an event that happened. It's just like, I didn't need to see that again, and, yeah. Another negative is that, the kid in this movie, Jacob Tremblay, he's such a good actor, but in here, he was so overutilized. Like, he has a really, really huge amount of screen time, and his in this movie, so it was really, like, that's the only part I could not stand. Like, every single time he was on screen, I was like, oh god. And as soon as he got on screen the first time, I was like, okay, please don't have him in this movie for the entire movie. Please keep his runtime limited. And they just used him in about every scene after that, and it was just like, why? Please just kill him or something. He's so annoying. But, yeah. The Loonies is a positive that I forgot to get into, but this is a positive. The Loonies. The characters. They're hilarious. Keegan-Michael Key was awesome. Trevante Rhodes, or 50 Cent, was awesome. Thomas Jane was actually really good in this. I don't know what happened, but he was really good in this movie. I really enjoyed him. Alfie's character didn't have a whole lot of screen time anyway, and the new actor, I forgot his name, and I completely forgot the character's name, but he's new. He's kind of like a short Mexican dude. He was pretty good in it too, and most of everybody did a pretty damn good job in this movie. The only person who wasn't good and I really wanted to die was the kid. But, yeah, what can you do? Also, I hear a lot of negatives about the first 2/3 being really good, and the last third, or like, the last act being awful. I really enjoyed the last act. I really did. The entire movie was consistent for me. It was really good. The ending was iffy. It was, I didn't hate it. Like, everybody's saying the ending is just an insult and ruined it. It was just cheesy. Like, I don't understand why everybody hates it. It's just a cheesy ending to go along with a cheesy, dumb movie. Like, why does everybody hate it so much? Like, my dad is such a diehard fan of this franchise, and he liked this movie. He didn't say it was great, but he said that it holds a candle. These are his exact words. It holds a candle to the first two, and I overall enjoyed it. And then I told him about all the reviews, and he was like, I didn't hate the ending. It just added on to the cheese factor of the movie. But, yeah. I really cared about the characters in this movie, and I overall really liked it. So, my overall thoughts is that if you're going in expecting a cheesy, fun popcorn movie, you're gonna get it. This movie is that definition, and it's so much fun. But if you're going into it expecting a suspenseful and amazing Oscar-worthy performances for everybody, and they weren't bad either, the acting wasn't terrible except for the kid. If you're going in expecting Oscar-worthy performances and amazing characters, you're not. Predator movie. Do you really need that in a Predator movie? So, I give it in terms of quality, like in terms of the actual movie, is a C- probably. Like, it's not a great movie. Maybe a D+. I'll go D+, because the actual movie is not very good. Like, it's a little above average. But in terms of the fun factor, I give this movie an A. It was amazing. It was just constant balls-to-the-wall action, especially the ending. The last 10 minutes were just complete balls-to-the-wall action. It was amazing. The gore was just, oh my god. So, from here on out, I'm going to get into spoilers. So, if you really care about this movie, you don't want to have any spoilers. There's not a whole lot to spoil except for the characters. But, if you really don't want any spoilers, that's your warning. To what? Okay. So, the deaths. I want to talk about the deaths. This scene was really funny, and this is what I mean by, like, it wasn't supposed to be funny, I don't think. So, at the final fight, they're in a jungle and it's all dark, and the big predator is, like, on fire, and Thomas Jane, like, leaps onto him and starts shanking him, and it was hilarious. And I think that was supposed to be funny. But then he gets roundhouse, like, chucked across the, like, not across the forest, but, like, chucked about 30 feet into a tree branch, and he gets impaled in, like, the stomach with a tree branch. And then, Keegan-Michael Key, his character, comes up and, like, shoots it with a grenade, I think. And then, he shoots it, and then, like, blood goes everywhere. Predator blood, by the way. He actually hurts it, but then, like, his arm blade cuts his stomach open. So there's a scene where, so Keegan-Michael Key's laying on, like, a side of a tree, and he's looking up at Thomas Jane. So Thomas Jane's up here, and Keegan's down here. And they're both like, okay, dude, let's die out with honor. And they both pull out their guns. Okay, let's do this. And they both just shoot each other at the same time. They have a dynamic because they were in wars together. And then the bad guy, the guy that was a human, he's hilarious. So, the good point of this movie was that a lot of the Predator technology has now been augmented to humans. So this one guy has like a thing mounted on his like a shoulder cannon mounted on him, and it's like the plasma cannon, and he's activating it, and it's shooting the Predator, and then all of a sudden it misfires and it shoots him in the face and just explodes a billion pieces, and it was glorious. The next death was Alfie Allen. He basically like gets shot, or not shot, like uses its plasma cannon and nails his arm, completely disintegrates his arm, and then proceeds to kill the crap out of him. And it was glorious. The one thing that did piss me off, a lot of the scenes from the trailer were not in the movie. But the better ones were. So, the hotel scene was hilarious. What's his name? Thomas Jane has Tourette's in this movie, and it's hilarious to watch. That's where most of the jokes come from, him and Keegan-Michael Key. And then the last, like, 10 minutes of the movie has, the Predator takes, the little kid, and, like, he wants the little kid because the little kid knows how to, like, run Predator tech, and, like, he has Asperger's. So, I guess, like, he's really intelligent, and, like, they make a point where, like, all retarded people are, like, really intelligent, and can run, like, alien technology. So, he takes him in the ship, and then, his dad, played by Boyd Holbrook, 50 Cent, and the new character, the short Mexican dude, hop on the, spaceship, and there's this kind of hilarious scene, but it was also sad, where they hop on the ship and, like, its armor thing is like, coming up to them, and they gotta jump it or, like, get on the ship. So, Boyd Holbrook falls into it, and he lives, but, the short Mexican dude literally gets his legs chopped off by the, shield. You can't see what I'm doing down here, but he gets his legs chopped off at the knee, and he just flies off of the ship. And then Trevante Rhodes, the height that they're at, like, they're about to, like, go into space. So, like, he's starting to, like, bleed out of his mouth and his eyes. So, he ends up chucking himself into, one of the towers of the ship, causing it to crash, and then Olivia Munn, the Predator, at all. Completely fine. So, basically, so the ship crashes, and they have this huge showdown with Boyd Holbrook's character and Olivia Munn's character. They fight the Predator, and, like, his arm gets chopped off by the Boyd character. Uses the, he uses his chopped off arm, because it has the blade on it, to, like, cut half of his leg off, sort of. It cuts a good chunk of the leg out, and the blade gets, and then, like a bunch of lasers come out, and basically then around it, he's like, all his limbs are chopped off, and he's like got like his guts are everywhere, and he's got like basically more like his legs are like stumps and his arms are like stumps. So he's like, Boyd Holbrook comes up to him, he's like, "What the hell are you?" And the thing's like, the thing's about to say "fuck you." He's like, "Fuck." Boyd Holbrook just like completely lays him out and just like about 20 times. Then we get to the ending. So, it's like a good month after the events, and the kid is working in a lab, and they finally are unlocking the thing that the big predator wanted to send to the Earth. And it's just like gauntlet, and it attaches itself to this guy, and it's like this super predator, and he doesn't turn into a predator, but it's all over him, and it's like transforming him into like a predator suit, and he's got like Gatling guns everywhere, like rockets, huge armed swords, they're like dangling on him. Like, I loved it so much. So yeah, that was my thoughts on the Predator. I actually really liked it, and like, what do you expect for a Predator movie except for cheesy goodness? Like, yeah. But, this was one of my favorite experiences at the theater this year. And I know this video is long, but I just wanted to say this is one of my favorite theater experiences that I had a second of it. If you guys, are interested... words. If you guys are interested in seeing The Predator, let me know you got it. If you guys hated it, if you guys... But, yeah, hope you want to see a sequel. The only thing that I was sad about is that they killed off, like, every one of the loonies. But I guess that's what you expect, kinda. But I wanted at least one of them to survive. But, yeah, that was my review of The Predator, and I hope you guys enjoy it, and I will see you guys later. Peace.